Welcome to the table.
We're your hosts. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Lizzie. We're sisters who grew up having dinner together every single night. Just real conversation and lots of laughter.
That time around the table, it meant everything. It kept us close, grounded, and reminded us what really matters.
That's why this show is so close to our hearts. It's more than just food. It's about connection, love, and making space for the people you care about.
With real talk, shared stories, and the kind of moments you can only get when everyone's gathered around good food.
So grab a plate, pull up a chair,
and make yourself at home.
Welcome to Family Dinner.
Welcome back to Family Dinner. Today we have a legendary guest with us, the heart and personality behind the iconic beef stand, Mr. Beef.
I'm sure you guys all know Mr. Beef from The Bear. It's an iconic Chicago spot, and we have so much to get into on this episode. We are huge Italian beef fans as Chicago girls. Our parents actually met making Italian beef when they were 16.
True story.
Which is crazy. Christopher, welcome to Family Dinner.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I think I'm a little underdressed for
No,
family dinner.
not at all. This is Family
You're
Dinner.
perfect.
Everyone at the table is family.
Appreciate
we
that.
are so excited to get into this conversation and talk about some beef.
Sure. Thank
So,
you.
what do we have for dinner tonight?
Looks like you guys have two beef sandwich. I have a beef sandwich too.
Yeah.
Looks like with sweet peppers and hot peppers on the side.
We had to get both.
Correct.
to
Yes.
tonight.
Yes.
We had to
yes.
do it.
Yes.
Necessary.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's our favorite way to pair it with some giardiniera, some hot giardiniera.
Okay.
What do you like? What's
You know
your
what?
go-to?
As I get older now and I've consumed an immense amount of beef sandwiches over the years, I think now I'm more or less, I'm a beef sweet peppers now, which I never thought I would be. I was always beef hot, and I only eat it in the morning, strangely. I will not eat a beef sandwich really past like 1 o'clock, but yeah. I can eat a beef sandwich in the morning, it'll get me through the whole day and stuff.
It's like an
that.
early lunch.
It is. Yeah, well, that's what the intention was, really. So, was to be a fast, quick lunch.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But yeah, now it's sweet, the hot, like I said. As I gotten older, I just, it's just not my thing anymore. So.
Well, I would say a beef for breakfast is major respect.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
But today we're gonna have it for dinner. So let's go ahead and unwrap these beefs and put on our favorite toppings. For dinner, of course, we have the iconic Mr. Beef sandwich. We got these plain, and we got sweet peppers and the hot giardiniera on the side. So let's unwrap this beautiful thing.
So, Christopher, when did this all start? You said it was your dad that
My
kind
dad,
of,
in 1979, he had an option to take over this restaurant, and he did. And, it was it was a risk for him. And he just lucked out. It's just something, he was a butcher before this.
Oh, wow.
And he worked at Dominic's, I shouldn't say like a butcher. Yeah, he was a butcher at Dominic's, but, he met my mother. They were young, probably like your parents. They were, my parents were, I think 17 and 19 or 18 and 20 when they met each other, whatever.
Yeah.
And I came along at like 24, I think my father was, and my mother was 22. And he just bought that restaurant. It was 1979 going into 80, yeah.
So
And
has
then-
it always been there on
Yes, it's always been, it was owned by a family before
Yeah.
and a different deal, but ours is different. I know those people love to try to, be like, it was ours.
Yeah.
So those are two different things.
Yeah.
And it's been in my life since since I was born, since December 8th, 1980. I started going there as early as like 4 years old. Some of my earliest memories, I'm 44 now, going on 45, so like almost 40 years ago, my father would bring me down there, and it's just what my dad did. My dad didn't want to work for anybody else. It was just an opportunity. It all just like anything else, it was very organic, and it just happened. It was just, there was no rhyme or the reason was he just didn't want to work for anybody. It was an opportunity for him to be in business for himself.
Yeah.
For a man who was a high school dropout. My father was a high school dropout.
Wow.
So yeah, it wasn't like he was, we don't come from like certain Italians come from pedigrees, this from being from the western suburbs, whatever it is, whether it's a mafia pedigree or political pedigree or whatever.
We're in
We just
Chicago,
didn't come
right.
from that. Yeah, we just didn't come from that. So my dad just was lucky. He was just lucky. He was just very, very
incredible.
lucky, incredibly lucky. But my dad worked. My dad liked to work, and that was his thing, and it was something I think he was proud of it. It was more nowadays everything's about culinary and food and all that. My dad was, I mean, it's a sandwich shop. We're outliers anyway. We have to, you know, at least I try to make sure of that. Like people understand that. Like Italian beef is really our thing in Chicago. It's
Totally.
our rude food.
Yeah.
You can give me all the pizza in the world, all the hot dogs and everything else, but really Chicago's known for, I really want to, like Italian beef, the G-Pan at Uncle Remus's, pizza puffs, and burritos. You know what I mean? Those are really our things. Sure, pizza, hot dogs, but you know, but this is really our root food here. I mean, you know, it's tribal.
This is
You guys grew up
forever.
in Pops,
Yeah.
right?
This
So
isn't going anywhere.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You don't. Well, hopefully. Here, there aren't that many beef stands left.
Don't
Think
break
about
my
that.
heart.
I'm just saying, when your parents were growing up and when they were working at Pops, there was like 100 beef stands all within the, I guarantee, each town they're for, because they're Southsiders, right?
Yeah.
So I guarantee from Palos to Orland, there was there was a bunch of beef stands.
Many more.
Now they're gone. You know, Portillo's is like a Walmart. You know, so all these other small joints came in, and they came in and knocked out all these small joints. But the places that have survived have been luckily me, Johnny's, clearly, Al's, Scatchell's, who I love, Jay's, who I love, all these different places, Pops. So now you're only down to a few dozen, or maybe a dozen if you're lucky.
So has the recipe stayed the same?
The
How has
recipe
it
is
evolved?
different. Yeah, it has
Really?
changed over the
Okay.
It was a third probably recipe in the beginning. Then my Aunt Joni Carboni and my grandmother, her sister, my grandma Rita, they grew up during the time of the Pinot weddings. All right, that's where Italian beefs come from.
Yeah.
All right, they come from this thing called Pinot weddings, where the Italians came over here and they didn't have a lot of money, so they would have these weddings and they would have these big roasts and stuff like that. From my understanding from my aunt was she said they would sell the beefs, or they would have the beefs at the weddings, but really I believe the story goes like they would make these sandwiches the day after of the wedding. So it was like the family was all in the house. It was like a leftover.
Yeah.
So they would bake fresh bread and all that kind of shit. So, you know, my aunt was going there in probably the early 80s because all of her kids, her cousin, or my cousin Paulie, who was now a retired Chicago cop, her other son, Michael, who, unfortunately, rest in peace, who died. He was a fire captain here in Chicago. And then her other son, Richie, they all worked for my dad at certain points. And I think my Aunt Joni and my father had a close relationship all the way up until my dad died, his future in-law, or his in-law, especially at that time. Wow. And she had made a comment like, this doesn't taste like anything that my aunt and uncle and our family used to make.
Really?
So yeah, and then she did something and that kind of changed. It just changed over time, and it's become like ours. It has. I mean, we've been here for 40-something years. It's got nothing to do with anybody else but us, regardless. There are other Mr. Beefs out there, and that's a whole nother nightmare of a story. I did find it out. I never no one ever told me really how that all went down, but the only people I know that had owned it before, or that were from it, one of them came to my father's funeral. I don't think it was done out of supposedly trying to be like, it was fake for whatever. It was full of shit. The guy, he was full of shit. But he explained to me some things that I had heard or whatever I thought or didn't think. So but that doesn't matter. What matter, this is ours. We've been doing the same thing. There's the same 10 guys have worked there for the last almost 30-something years. There's just people is like,
The dynamic.
All of us have
has
been there
stayed-
for like a long time. I've been
you guys
through
are
a lot of different
close.
iterations of who my dad had with him and working with him and stuff.
Let's dive in. Let's take a bite.
Sure.
Take a fat
I'm gonna
bite.
add some jardiniere to mine.
I did add the hot jardiniere, but we have the sweet peppers here too, which I might have to add one of these as well.
I love your guys' jardiniere.
Thank you.
Love
We
the
get a lot
hot
of shit
pepper.
for it. So.
Wait, why?
Why? Why do you get shit for it?
I think certain places have super hot jardiniere. People, I think, associate Italian beef. They want it's supposed to be spicy, or some people do.
It's great.
It's just some people find it spicy. I don't know. Other people don't. At this point now, I just tell people, listen, it's just, if you don't like it, that's it. Bring your own jardiniere in, put it on. If not, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
All right.
Make it all in-house, right?
All that stuff's made fresh
yeah.
every day.
I think
And
it's
the peppers,
perfect.
sweet
Peppers, sweet
everything?
peppers, everything.
There's a little
Besides
bit
the
of
bread.
heat on the back, but it's not like overpowering.
I
No,
love
this is
it.
actually my preferred type of jardiniere, where
you
you
very
get
much.
the flavor and a little bit of kick, but it's not going to overpower the beef and the amazing flavor.
It's the best.
Thank you.
It's
It's so
unreal.
good. So
We love it.
when you're not eating an Italian beef
Sure.
at Mr. Beef, what are you ordering? What should people get?
When they're not eating Italian.
Yeah.
All right, so one thing I sell, and I'm the last guy to do this. There was another place, your parents would probably know it. It was called Boston's Beef. It was on North Avenue and Grand Avenue, where they meet by the Metro Yard. And that was the only other place I'd ever seen this done, other than us. We make a barbecue beef. All right.
Ooh.
A lot of places, maybe even where you guys grew up, you know, you would get a barbecue beef. You probably order it. It comes with the beef. And then, you know, if you have jardiniere sweet, garlic, I'm sure people put garlic toast out west and on the south side. That's a big thing.
Yeah,
Some people
I've
get
seen that.
Yeah.
And then they'll just put barbecue sauce on it. What I do is I'll get down to the actual top butt will get shorter and shorter, and then I'll grind it all down and I'll make it into this barbecue beef, which is just, it's the same piece of meat. It's harder to slice. So we get it all shredded down, and it's the same consistency of like a sloppy Joe or like a pulled pork or beef
wow.
brisket, but it's Italian beef. I put it
Yum.
on a sesame seed bun, and it's been there since day one. It's one of the best sandwiches.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love it, and I think people, and I've been pushing people, because really, like, whether you come to me, whether you go to Jay's, Scatchell's, Franny's, Chickies, OG, or Novi's, all of those places are all equally good in my mind. There is nobody better or worse in my head. I don't do that. There's enough guys out here that you guys can probably get on here that'll be like, yeah, I'm the best, yeah, and I just don't. And also, people are very tribal about Italian beef in this city. You know,
Yes.
people don't like me. They don't like this place.
Oh.
They don't like that
They're
place.
opinionated about
100%.
different-
Yeah,
Yeah,
the opinions come out,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
sure. This one's the best, and this and that. And I've been getting a ton of shit in the beef world. Outside of it, I'm great. The world has been wonderful to
Yeah,
me. But like the inner beef world in Chicago sure hates it, and I understand that. I'm sorry, I didn't ask for the bear.
Who the fuck bought Super Soak? Richie, idiot, Richie.
And it's not me, it's my friends.
yeah.
I love him. He's my buddy. I love him to death, but it's very tribal and people they're not die behind their beef sandwich, but they're willing to argue about it. They're willing
They
to
ride for it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
a lot of ride, right? Is
Yeah.
that with the younger? Yes, they do ride for it. Yes.
Definitely.
I love
So
it.
I also want to know, Christopher, about your personal journey. How has that been? Did you always know, okay, I want to take over the family business? Or was it,
No, I
how-
never. No,
what was that
it
like?
was. I don't think I had a choice. Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
My dad and I were very close. My
love
dad
that.
was a phenomenal dad. I was very, very lucky. Very lucky to have my father, or had my father when I did. And I was always with my father. I just always was. I was always, every time Friday was done, I didn't care about, when I was in 6th grade, I would just make noises in my head all day and just wait until that clock, till it got to like Friday. And I was just like, Saturday, I'm going and I get to hang out with Brian, I get to hang out with Big Head Fred, I get to hang out with Lapdog, I get to hang out with these guys, I'm at this restaurant. I didn't understand the gravity of it, but I was just there all the time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, that's my son in the corner. I was just there. My dad always brought me there. So I don't know if it was like acquired, because I read that and it made me think. It really made me ponder, like, I don't know what I would do. Or like, I don't think I had a choice, because I just was always there. And I think I was very lucky. I'm very lucky because I liked it. I know a lot of kids that are born into something, or that have their families do have businesses, or they're lucky enough to have that stuff, and they don't want anything to do with it. They
Right.
want absolutely nothing to do with it.
Right.
And strangely, all the good and bad in my life comes out of that place. And like I said, I don't know what my life would be, because it's always been there. It's always been this unique thing.
Yeah.
It's never been just a normal restaurant. It's always been this strange thing. I'm sure you can argue all the different, my dad was very lucky. Like you said, he did not come from anything. He didn't come from anything. My grandfather was a truck driver that couldn't keep a job. His mother, remarried stepfather, who just wasn't a good guy, and just, my father just lucked out. He just lucked out. He was at the right place at the right time. But I'm, on the other hand, because he had such a shitty upbringing, my old man, he just did everything for his kid, and that's why I said, like, a lot of the mistakes I made, strangely, were just stupid because I didn't have to. There was just more of being maybe more or less spoiled. But see, I wasn't spoiled in the sense that, like, my dad never walked down there and was like, this is the prince, or this is the, like, the same guy that made me rub my fucking eyes after we mixed hot peppers when I was a little kid is still there to this day.
No way.
So yeah, like all those dudes were fucking brutal to me, locking me in the cooler for hours,
horrible.
beating the shit out of each other, and like just
no.
you know, because you have to understand, like a lot of those dudes, and they're still there, so they're still like, ah, fuck this kid.
amazing.
They
You know,
remember
when I was
everything.
a kid, I was a jag off, like, this motherfucker's gonna take this joint over and this and that, and now they're like, oh, look at him now, he is taking it all, you know.
Yeah.
But
The respect
yeah,
builds,
it's just. We all grew up together. We were all my dad's kids in there. That's the thing, 'cause a lot of those guys didn't come even from far worse upbringings than my father did. So that's why everybody, my dad, that place is like a last resort for a lot of people. But in return, there were a lot of amazing characters and amazing people. I'm very lucky. I got to grow up downtown. I got to be downtown. I got to meet all these incredible people at a very young age, like insanely, you know, like I said, I was telling you guys, like, I guess I never really got into it, but you know, as my dad's trajectory kind of went with the restaurant, my dad became good friends with Jay Leno, who ended up being a very famous comedian, ended up hosting The Tonight Show, and their friendship for a very long time. Jay Leno was the one who really put us on the map. He had a slew, weeks worth of shows, The Tonight Show, after being in the chair for maybe 4 years, came back to Chicago where he felt like he started his career in entertainment, I guess, and he did a whole week's worth of shows. Well, each day there was a Mr. Beef this or that, he was filming it. So this like insanity with all, this isn't the first time. So it's not like, you know, and that's another thing you've just been very lucky with. In the world now where you need this kind of exposure if you're in the restaurant world, you're like, I don't know. People ask me all types of, you know, how do I do this? I was like, go talk to somebody with a good Instagram because good luck. Because I don't know how you do it anymore. I don't know if you have a good product without like somebody having to like okay it or give you like the thumbs up.
Right.
Yeah, the
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
thing. And it's we're very lucky in that respect to have that this new world now, this symbiotic entertainment / food world, which is what it seems like. I don't
Definitely.
know. I just don't know. I'm not into it.
Yeah.
So I'm not into anything food related. So I just don't care. But
yeah.
anyway, but
You can just tell when you go in Mr. Beef, you look at the wall. You guys have been established, that legacy that your father built, created a network for forever.
Sure.
definitely.
So I think that's really cool to see, you know, the monuments and the moments and all the people, like you said, Jay Leno was there, Jimmy Kimmel, his predecessor. Then
Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon, sorry.
Yeah,
but Jimmy Fallon, we saw all of his photos there.
Yeah, was he serving beefs? I saw him.
I wasn't
the
in
counter?
town when that happened at the time. I was, like I said, I lived I live in a different state part-time, so I was there when that happened. So, but I believe he was. I believe he came in, he filmed, and he made beef sandwiches and stuff. Another, in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, there was Mancow Muller, Mancow Q101. And I bet you guys don't even remember that radio station.
No, I don't remember.
Q101 was a major radio station here, and 103.5 The Blaze, and there was a he was referred to as a shock jock, but he wasn't. He was just number 5 or 6 or 4 on like the lists of all these like radio guys that were like, there was Howard Stern, and then there was the real gods, Opie and Anthony, who were the real radio geniuses, and then there were a few other people, and then Mancow, well, he was the biggest market in the Midwest. Well, he was at Mr. Beef every day doing live show. I mean, I graduated high school solely on that. My counselor was like obsessed with the radio show. I know that for sure. I love it.
I mean, it's just funny to me when you were 13 years old, working there, dipping my sandwich, getting your knuckles in there, throwing it at me. Now that Dad's out of the way and you're running the business, you actually have to be nice to people. How's it feel?
It's change. It's a definite change. It's definitely change.
You would not have believed this kid. You would not have believed this kid. Yeah, and I mean, he like this. Could I get a little hot peppers?
I'll give you extra peppers.
My wife acts like that now there.
Yeah, mine too.
But
Oh my gosh.
he really was instrumental in our survival and our trajectory too, because during his radio tenure, which was for years, was like 10 years in this city, it was a long time, terrestrial radio. All he did was like come to Mr. Beef, talk about Mr. Beef, do weirds, like skits and stunts in Mr. Beef. It was this weird thing. So Mr. Beef has always had this kind of like crazy thing.
The
So it's
media
no
relationship.
different. Yeah.
Right,
Everybody
right.
comes up to me like, oh, dude, the bear and all that. And I was like,
Yeah.
if you knew the story, it just really wouldn't.
It's been like
yeah,
that.
it's just
been
kind
like
of a
that.
weird
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So which most restaurants don't. So I get why most people don't like me. I get it.
No.
In a restaurant, I fucking get it. But anyway,
I mean,
I get it.
Well,
but yeah.
we love Mr. Beef. We love how it's a family business.
Thank
and
you.
also,
But I don't
so
think that
energy.
answered your question though.
No,
I
it did.
didn't.
Yeah, it
100%.
totally did.
I think that it's an amazing, the family that you guys have created there too, the legacy.
Sure.
We love it. Cheers to that.
Such a special place.
Sure.
Cheers,
Cheers,
to
ladies.
Mr.
Cheers.
Beef.
Let's cheers with our beefs.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you
Cheers.
guys. Thank you. I appreciate you
So
guys here.
good.
Very kind with your words. Thank you.
Tonight, for Pass the Plate, we want to get into The Bear, an iconic show that many of you probably know. And it's actually filmed, well, parts of it
Yes.
are filmed at Mr. Beef here in Chicago. So, Christopher, tell us, how did Mr. Beef and yourself get involved with The Bear?
Chris Storr and I, who's the creator of the show, we've been friends since we grew up together. We've been
love
friends
that.
since we were in kindergarten. He's always had it, that's always been his thing. When we were little kids, we were playing Ghostbusters. I've said this a bunch of times, but I'll say this again.
Yeah.
We were playing Ghostbusters. We were doing a scene, which your parents will probably remember this too. This scene with Bill Murray. He wants to take this tablecloth and pull it off and wants all the plates to land directly the same. And
Wait. I've always wanted to do this. And? The flowers are still standing.
Storr and I were like
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
in the back. I think we're playing in my backyard, and he was upset because we weren't doing it properly or doing it right. And now I know why that is stuck with me. And that anytime with Chris Storr and a lot of different things we've been, a lot of the experiences I guess we've had together growing up, from little kids going to school together, him coming to Mr. Beef and all that. But yeah, he just one day walked in and I hadn't seen him for 2 years. Like I said, I live in a different state and it's harder to get in touch with me up there. So, me and him have always, since we were little, since we graduated high school, have always kept in touch with each other, strangely. And by that, what I mean is, like, I don't have MySpace. I've never had any of that. I didn't go to college. I didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So they would just come and see me. Like, people would come and see me. They would know that I'd be down there. Like, that's all I did. Like, I didn't let anybody, I just, or whatever. We were all from like different groups and stuff, but Storr and I had we're always buddies with each other.
Yeah.
And Storr just, like, one day I happened to be in Mr. Beef and we were getting these, if you've ever seen, like, in the neighborhood, you'll see now, especially with the show, they'll have like the location, like, warning, we're gonna be
Definitely.
filming and all that. Well, when they want to come in, whether it's that show or it's any person, or anything they want to film, a location person will come out to you and, give you something, and you might be, you're one of 3 potential filming spots and this and that.
Yeah.
So Jason, who you guys may know, when you guys come in there, he's got
Yes,
the tattoos.
definitely.
Jason's
We remember
pretty much
Jason.
me when I'm not there.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much the guy who really runs it. Like, he should really get a lot of the praise because he's really held us down, especially in this crazy 5 years. And when my father died and all of it, Jason's really, like, he should be called Mr. Beef because he's really the one that does it. Jason kept calling me when I was away, and he was like, hey, we're getting all these location things. Now, usually Storr and I would always talk or see each other at least once a year. He'd come to Mr. Beef or whatever.
Right.
Especially when he went, because he graduated high school and went directly out to Hollywood. So that's what he
wow.
did. Yeah, he didn't.
Good for him.
He didn't fuck around.
Yeah,
I think
he was
went
like, I
right
know I
out.
wanna be in the
This is
industry.
what I'm gonna do, and whatever it was. So he would always come back and see me. I'd see him. And we'd this and that, and we were getting these location things, and I kept seeing the name of the show, which is what the name of it is now. And I did for a year or two. I just wasn't talking to anybody in my life. And at that time, I was like 39, 40. And I had a huge drug problem when I was younger and stuff like that, all the way up until, all the way up until I was 36 is when I got like completely sober off hard drugs and all this shit. But I operated that restaurant completely legit the whole time while being fucked up on
impressive.
drugs, which was insane, and hard drugs,
Yeah.
not just like drinking and doing. I'm an ex-heroin addict, so I Store was all, especially when it did get out that I had a huge problem, this and that. He did reach out to me in 2016 to make sure I was alive and everything was okay. Then I didn't talk to him for like 3 years. I didn't talk to anybody. It was nothing like bad. I just was in my world, and I had to get my shit together because here I have to start my life over again at 36, and I got to play catch up. Even though I was lucky, the restaurant has always stayed intact because of Jason. Jason's the one, and my wife, and a lot those two people. Really, my father too kind of saved me or got me back. And this other doctor named Dr. Kenji Yoasu, he saved my life too. And but Store, for whatever reason, I didn't talk to him for like 2 years, but I saw on IMDb, I'd always like catch up, like make sure he was doing like all right or whatever the fuck he was doing.
Yeah.
And I remember when Jason said, I think it's the name of the show is this or this deal. And I was like, oh, okay, I think that's Store's thing. And he goes, really? He goes, no, it was this little lady. She came in. And her name's Maria Roxas. She's like the head of locations for the company they use, and she's the best lady, and she's my best. I love her to death. Her name's Maria Roxas. And I get Jason's like, yeah, it's this thing. And I said, all right, I don't know. I don't care. Who cares? Tell them to come in or whatever. That shit's always, they're always like, yeah. And then they never come in.
Right.
Or they do come in, it's whatever.
Yeah.
So we've done it a million times at that point too. So we're like, all right, whatever. Who cares? So one day I happened to be there in March of 2021. And this huge like charter bus pulls up, like you guys look like you went to college and and all that shit, and you go to like Iowa and Huskies and those kind of charter buses. We're all going to drink and all that. Yeah. So that's what it looked like. And I remember I was sitting in the restaurant and I was like, this is either that kind of shit, like they're going to Notre Dame, or for something, or I go, or this is a Hollywood thing. Yeah. And I was like, it's a big bus. And I was like trying to look at those people, and I was like, those are hipster, or not hipsters, but those are well-dressed guys on that deal. I go, this isn't this isn't like they're going to a college football game or Kansas game. Yeah. So then when they started coming down, all these people, and I was like, yeah, these are Hollywood guys.
They all filed into
They're all filing, and all of a sudden I see Store come walking out, and he's like, hey, dude, what's up? I haven't seen it. And I was like, oh, what's up, man? And it was like sick. It was all these producers, location people, Chris Store, and I just happened to be there.
Just like on a random Tuesday.
Just a random Tuesday. They all came. Store was clearly doing something.
Yeah.
He had a but I just walked in. I was just like, yeah, I'm here.
Right.
He's like, well, I've been trying to call you. No one has your number, and where have you been? And one of the major producers there, his name's Tyson Bender, who's another wonderful human being, one of the best human beings ever. He was like, Store was trying to like introduce me, but we were still trying to figure out why I didn't talk to him for like a year, and we were like going back and forth, and there's this guy's looking around, and they're looking at stuff, and I'm like, and I'm looking, and I knew that was you. I was like, I knew that location fee I knew that thing was you.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, buddy, I did it, and or it looks like it's gonna happen, and I want to do it here, and it needs to be here. And I was like, well, yeah, go ahead, knock yourself out. And I was just gonna give it to it, hey, it's all yours, take it, buddy. And I did essentially, but he's like, well, no, we need to go sit, we need to have dinner, we need to talk. I was like, okay. So I was like, I didn't understand the gravity of the situation. I figured, okay, because he had done it before once in Chicago, and it was more of an indie style production. So this seemed to be like, I didn't know what he was doing because I knew he was directing, and he directed 4 amazing episodes of a great show. His buddy too, I believe he's on the show. But Rami, have you ever watched Rami on Hulu? That is a phenomenal show. And Store directs, I think, the first 4 episodes right out of the banger, and they're phenomenal episodes. Another underrated show is Rami. But anyway, back to that. We're like hugging each other, talking to each other. There's all this stuff going on. Tyson, I'm meeting him, this person, that person. And then it just kind of rolled from there. It was just this weird thing. It was very, I hate pounding the word again, like organic, but it really was. Like, I was like, here, take the keys, it's yours. Go film what you want. I don't care. Knock yourself out. Do it. I don't want anything. And that was it. I did joke though. I was like, I want to know what your morning air smells like. I know what my morning air smells like when I have to walk. Yeah. Whether it's in the morning or the afternoon, and I'm walking down the Salle, or Orleans over the bridge over here.
It's a lot of smells.
Illinois, all types of shit. But I want to know what your morning looked. Really, that was a metaphor. Like, what is your morning? I want to know what your morning looks like. Yeah. And he gave me that opportunity, and I was very lucky to see all that. And it's been an incredible thing to watch. Yeah. Because I watched my friend become this. I watched I watched a lot of people achieve their dreams and on a set. An incredible precipice. All of those people, they're all incredibly talented people. He's everybody from Chris Storr to the whole cast, everybody from Jeremy, Maddie, Ayo, Eben, all those people are phenomenal actors and all this stuff. So all these things were happening, and then that whole crew, because people don't give those people enough recognition. Like all those people that are like running wires and doing this and that,
lighting and everything,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
I used to be not arrogant about it when they would come do food stuff with me. I just like, some of these guys are like serious, like fucking take it easy. But now it's a whole different thing now, because I've seen it from the inside out. I've seen behind the curtain in Oz. Like, well, wait, hold on. Like, and I watched that, and that was like more amazing thing to watch. Sure, it was awesome to watch some of those people act, and I got to watch it in real time, watch all that.
So cool.
But another thing was like, well, all right, without this guy can't do this guy can't do this, and that guy can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's this whole like, you know, I like unearthed this huge ant civilization of these amazing people that are trying to keep a production going, you know?
Major production.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And I've
Super
watched
high
it, then
level.
I've watched it also get bigger and bigger. I watched it from a pilot to then becoming this, to then getting picked up, to then doing this. And Mr. Beef, strangely or luckily, has always been a part of it in some. Luckily, we've come along, or we've got to drive along with them in a little bit. You know, we've been very lucky to ride their wave, I should say.
Oh my God.
So
For the
yeah, we've been
journey.
very lucky, and
think-
to watch it, like I said, has been my biggest gift. I remember the last day, everybody, there were a bunch of the cast members and stuff there, and a whole bunch of crew members, and we fed everybody. And I just said, I remember telling Storr, like, hey buddy, I think this is gonna be really big for you, because look, you can cut this room here with a fucking knife, and you can't even get through the air here. The excitement's so fucking strong. Look at everybody kind of knew. I think everybody felt it innately. It was gonna be this like big thing. So I just said, you're lucky. And he was very like humble, or very like, it's a 50-50 shot. And I was like, you know, clearly it was more than just a 50. It knocked it out of the park, man. He's done very well. I always knew he was gonna do it. Like I always knew he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know, I always knew that.
What a great friend too.
Yeah.
Just in general, I think everyone's so used to seeing sets, you know, out of LA and like these things that are super fabricated. But I think for me, watching the show, I was so proud to see somewhere local in Chicago. It resonates with everybody in the city. And
It seems like it.
yeah, I mean, the lines out the door speak for itself, but it's a really incredible thing to see on the big screen. It makes me excited.
What was the first moment where you saw the line? Was it?
I wasn't even there. The first 2 weeks after the show became like this massive hit.
Yeah.
The filming ended in April of 2022 before it became the first season. And I want to say it came out in July of 2022, July like 20. I always remember because I was at Brandy's. Do you guys know what Brandy's? That's a Northwest Side fast food joint.
No.
There's like one on Harlem and Avondale, and then there's one in Des Plaines. I happened to be at the one in Des Plaines because I was at a restaurant depot, and I remember I stopped and got food, and it was the day it dropped, and I just didn't care. I was just like, whatever, because I was in like the first scene, and I was embarrassed. Yeah, I'm like
on the show?
Yeah.
I've watched it. I didn't know that, Christopher.
I mean, we gotta rewatch it.
Yeah, I
then.
gotta rewatch it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nonchalant. So nonchalant.
No, in the first scene, in the first season, I'm in it for like 2. You'll see me in there, like me and him are like, we're like throwing beef. He's buying beef out of the trunk,
right?
And I'm like selling it.
It's like in the back.
You know,
Okay.
And I just didn't want it. I didn't want to see it. I was just like, I don't care. And I was like getting
like
mad
me.
at everybody for watching it. And I was like, stop watching. Like watch it, but don't tell me. I don't care.
You don't want to hear about it.
I didn't want to hear about it. Not because I wasn't proud of my friend. I was proud of my friend. I have a weird thing before all this, all the shows we've been on and all that. I don't care. So like even with this, as much as this was fun, you know, it's fun to be on here. I would never be like, hey guys, I'm gonna be on a podcast tonight. Like, I think there are people that are like that. They're like, they get the family on. We were on the news, like, you know. And I'm like, oh, all right. And I just didn't want it. And then I went back to Minnesota, or where I lived part-time. And for like 2 months, like, he just slowly was like, the bear.
Yeah, it's all.
But I was
up,
not
like,
paying
yeah.
attention to it. I was just like, hey, I would send him a text. I love you, buddy. Good, congratulations. It seems like, you know, that was it. And then I would
That's all that needs to be said.
I wouldn't say anything. I just all of a sudden my father called me because my father was alive to see at least the first part of the insanity, which was great.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was great. And he called me. He was like, "Son, I think you need to come back." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, He goes, "It's getting crazy in here." He goes, "I don't know if we're gonna." And I was like, "Well," I was like, "All right." I go, "What do you mean?" And I thought maybe it was something he was arguing with somebody or this and that. He's like, "Nah, I think you need to get back here." And I was like, "All right." So when I came back, I remember the one day, and this is like in early, you know, each year it's gotten better and better and better, which is strange. Usually it like would be the reverse, you know,
Like,
it
it
would be
was
like
really
it'd
strong
start
at first,
fall,
and
and
then,
then
yeah.
like, and I figured it would be. I figured, all right, at some point everyone's gonna start turning and be like, fuck that. You know, I think they did, but strangely they have. It's the same people. It's all the same fucking people. It's all the same shit. It's all, like I said, you either are for food or you're for followers. Or you're either the world is for you or you're for the world. You know, I've just found that, especially after all of this, I've realized who's for the world and who the world is for them. And I've gotten that with this whole thing. And, but I just remember it being like, it's overwhelming sometimes because people are, especially after they started winning like Emmys, then that place got like real crazy where like everybody wanted their piece of it. And you see it too. And like I said, everybody wants their like things.
Their acknowledgements.
They're like, they want you to be like, here. There was a look-alike that pulled a shot at my restaurant. Some garbage fucking suitcase company, they like set up a thing and then they like sent me a thing acting like we collabed together. Yeah, there's all types of weird stuff that happens with that too. And I see what everybody's deal is. You know, I just see what it is. So I see, you know, what everybody wants. And I get that. Now it's different. Like, and there's that, but then like 90% of it is just these people who like love my friend's show and they're like really touched by it. And at first we were all like, get the fuck out of here. Like, and then it became this thing where like, all right, we see these people like love this show. And then we're like talking to them. They're telling us about their lives. And then I'm like, you know, I'm fucking talking to people in Brazil on Insta, you know, I just, then it started this thing where like, I was just letting people come in. I was like, all right, I'm about to jump on the train. And then some guy's like, what the? And he's like, oh man, you guys are closed. And I'd be walking out and he's like, oh, this is my only fucking time. I told my daughter I'd come and take a picture. And I did. And I'm like, all right. I was like, well,
We'll stay open.
all right, hold on. Do you have 10 minutes? You have no idea. And I've had a million of these now where I'm like buddies with people and friends and I meet people, all this crazy shit. And it's wonderful. And I'm very happy because I've always done it. I've always commiserated with my like customers for the most part.
Good
like, I had a
business
shit
owner.
pair this morning that came in with a beautiful white Range Rover with beautiful white, you know, beautiful white tires and all that, but they were bitching that it was $39 or $31 or whatever it was, and they were very rude and arrogant.
Oh, wow.
So you have like, you have these like weird, because you have the normal
The
Chicago people that just want to come in and get their food and they don't give a shit, and now they got this thing where they're like, oh, this place is and they got to be rude. And then you get these other people who are just like ecstatic to be there. They're just like, they're like, I can't fucking believe it. They're taking like, can I, there was
like
a piece,
picture.
someone was hanging off the wall. And he's like, can I take that? And I was like, yeah. You realize it's a piece of fucking like concrete or rock or something like that. He's like, oh yeah, I need you know, and I was like, all right, go, it's yours. It's all yours. Like,
Well, when you
knock
watch
yourself
the
out.
show,
That's
it's
so
kind of,
funny.
it's incredible to be there. because
Sure.
you see-
It feels surreal,
It feels
yeah.
surreal,
I mean,
yeah.
I had been before watching The Bear, and then after, it just adds like
Well,
some
some
like,
girl walked up to me a couple days ago
feeling.
at the Galleria when I was going to
Yeah.
get cigarettes, and she's like, you know, I'm never going to your restaurant again.
Wait, why?
And I went, why? She goes, well, I got PTSD from the show, and I got PTSD from that restaurant. It was like being on that fucking show, waiting to get a beef sandwich, but she was being nice. She was being
funny
nice
about
at
it?
the end.
funny about
But
it.
it really like, bro, I was like, yeah, you're right. And she goes, no, but really, my parents, I brought them in from, you know, wherever, Missouri or Pennsylvania, wherever, and my parents were like, This is just like, because we're like screaming at you, it's busy. Because
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
now,
it's real.
before, we used to be able to get you in and out of there because everybody knew what they wanted. Now everybody has no idea. Now they're calling the beef sandwich a bear there, and now that's upsetting me. Yeah, it upsets the shit out of me. Everyone's like, can I get a bear
Don't
today?
call it the bear.
No,
Don't
you can't.
do it.
I'm cool with it. I'm fine with it. But today I lost my shit with somebody. I was like, it's not the fucking bear. Nobody called it that. Nobody calls it.
No one
But it
called
started
it
with
that.
my guys because they were making it
funny.
easier on everybody because it's so busy because nobody knows what they want.
Yeah.
Because they
Right.
don't have it in
Right.
Saskatchewan. You know, they just don't have Italian beef, or they
don't
don't
know.
have it
Yeah.
in Grand Rapids.
Argentina used to
yeah,
be.
even in Argentina. So you kind of have to be this like beef Sherpa with people and go through everything and this whole deal. So yeah, it's been very cool.
That's
like
really
it's been
interesting.
forget about all. That's why I tell people like I don't. There isn't much I needed out of it. I didn't want anything out of it, but this is an incredible gift I got, which was like meeting all of these, which I had always done before. Mr. Beef was strangely one of those places, but to this level, it's been incredible. I've met amazing people, just
Just the
amazing
best.
people.
I love
You know.
it. I love to hear the story.
Yeah,
So
these stories
awesome.
are crazy about
Sure.
the
Yeah,
customers.
sure.
Oh my goodness, and I
Yeah.
love this joiner.
It's
Sure.
the best.
I could eat
Well,
a plane
I
all
think
day.
it's time to get into some sip and spill.
Sure.
Let's do it.
We are now getting into sip and spill while we finish our amazing Mr. Beef sandwiches. These questions are fun, but very important, Christopher. Question number 1. On average, how many beef sandwiches do you think you sell in one day?
It's got to be anywhere between 700 and 1,000 now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, now, which is depending on days.
Yeah,
It
right.
depends on days.
Days fluctuate.
Depends on days.
We understand.
I would say, but on an average day, it's got to be like 600. Yeah, it's got to be 6. You got to remember, we're only open like for 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours, so I'm not like open
Right.
that long.
Right.
It's not
right.
an
Yeah.
all-day thing.
We always think let's get Mr. Beef for dinner, and then we're like, oh wait.
Gotta go.
Yeah,
gotta go
4
early.
o'clock.
early
Yeah,
dinner.
unfortunately,
Yeah, you gotta go for early
unfortunately, yeah,
dinner.
it sucks. I used to be open late. I used to be open till 5 in the morning. So yeah,
No way. When
from
did you change
2000
the hours?
2006 to all the way up into the pandemic to 2020. It was
Okay.
Monday through Thursday from 10 in the morning to 7 p.m. And then I would open up Fridays. It was open from 10 a.m. to 3:30 in the morning, and then Fridays from 10 a.m. to 5 in the morning. Yeah, and I did that for 16 years.
So you
Mr.
probably
Beef was
get
wild. Yeah.
the late night crowd.
Oh yeah, that was the whole
Yeah.
point. Yeah, that was the whole
Yep,
point
get
of
all
it. I was at a
people
club,
from
and then I went over. I opened. Me and somebody went over there. We were drinking and doing all types of shit, and then we went and made sandwiches, and then people were like
wanting
filing
in.
by,
Yeah.
and they were coming by
yeah.
the window, and then somebody from the club started banging, like, "Come on, let me in!" And then like all these people came. So I was like in this suit, like making beef sandwiches one night, and I'm like, looked at my buddy, I'm like, I gotta call Jason, because Jason at that time had his first daughter, and Jasmine, and who's a little bit younger than you guys, because she's from your neighborhood. She's 23, I think.
Yes,
Okay.
she went
Yeah,
to LT.
yeah, she
Yeah,
went-
yeah.
Yeah.
So Jazz was just being born, and he was like, and he was a full-time plumber. He's like, dude, I need to work, and he had always wanted to do this at night.
Yeah.
And I had stopped. I was a musician I played drums for just a little bit in my time, but that's not what I did professionally. But I did that, and then it just stopped. So I was like, you know what? I dedicated all my time to the restaurant. I was like, yeah, let's open it up. Clearly, we have to, because I was there Thursday night. And the restaurant's a mess when you guys get there in the morning, because I didn't clean it up, because there's fucking people were piling in wanting that, I was making money. I was taking money for sandwiches and shit. I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, give me 20.
Craziness,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I realized that night. I was like, okay, and we did that for 16 years nonstop. It was like
Whoa.
fucking wild. Mr. Beef at night is wild.
I
And
love that.
That's a whole nother like
Era.
chapter and of
Yeah.
every like crazy shit. That was when really a lot of
is an
fun
era.
shit happened. Like
Late night
yeah,
really
Mr. Beef
fun.
has a lot of crazy fun things, but like that was wild. That was that was
I just thought of the all cash aspect of Mr. Beef.
Sure.
Has it always been
no,
like that?
no,
So you
not
guys-
anymore. No.
You guys take card now?
Yeah, we've always
Okay.
taken
I don't
card.
know why
no.
that I thought it was all
it's
cash.
because it says it on like the sign. It says it on a sign we did as a joke that has somehow become part of like
funny.
a prop in their world, in the Bear
shows. Yeah.
universe world. But it's us. We did it. We were just upset with all the drunk people on Friday and Saturday nights. We would just put like no red
cash.
sauce, no this, no that, no bathroom, no that.
Yeah.
We just no cash or cash only.
Yeah.
And but we were for many years.
Next, Christopher, I want to know favorite Chicago restaurant.
Club Lucky. If you want me to shoot off the bat, I love
Club
Club
Lucky.
As a total, as an
place.
overall restaurant, the best meal I've had in the 40. Well, there's two places that rival that meal, but I want to say it was like last year or 2 years ago. Last year, my wife and I were in Bucktown. We were staying in Bucktown, and we were like, I'm like, you know what? I hadn't been to Club Lucky since I was a little kid. And I have a weird story about that. Going to Club Lucky when I was 12 with my father and my father's friend.
way.
I'd gotten in trouble a bunch in school. So my dad was like getting frustrated with my shit. It was like, so he wanted me to understand, like, hey, listen, this is what's gonna happen to you if you fucking keep doing this.
Yeah.
You keep acting like an asshole and this and that. I think I was like 12 years old, 13 years old.
Yeah,
so
you're
me and my
baby.
buddy had gotten caught drinking or something, which I was never a big drinker, but my dad brought us down there. We were going down there thinking we were doing, strangely this happened, now that I'm remembering this happened during the second run of Jay Leno.
No way.
Or the first run of Jay Leno when he was in Chicago.
Okay.
And that was going on. So my dad was like catering the Jay Leno event and doing all this shit, but he was dealing with me being a knucklehead and all this shit.
Yeah.
So what they did was they threw us in the jail cell and shut the door. And then we sat there for like an hour, me and my friend, to realize that like how fucked up we were being and all this shit. And
that'll
it
do
was
it.
Steve,
That'll do it.
and then he was my dad's friend. You know, my dad, Donnie, actually, I think set it up, like the whole thing to try to straighten me out and all this shit.
gosh.
But then later on that night, after we got in the talking to, me and my buddy and all that shit, and you know, all this stuff, because my dad was like a father to like everybody
Yeah.
around me and everything. We went to Club Lucky. I remember that. And it had to be, by that time, only a few years that Club Lucky had been open, because I think Club Lucky's open since like 87,
So
86.
jail cell to eating.
Jail cell, well, yeah. It used to be owned by a guy by the name of,
That's awesome.
God, what is his
What a
name?
lesson.
Bobby something, man. He used to come to the restaurant all the time. I know his name. I mean, I'm drawing a blank Bobby just because I got all these lights and these two girls looking at me and stuff. But it would come to me in a second.
Yeah.
But you know, this Club Lucky, so I remember loving it as a kid. I never went there in my early 20s when I lived in the River North and all that shit. I never went to Club Lucky. And then I went there recently and I was like, this is fucking one of the greatest meals I've ever. And usually when you say that, you're expecting me to go to a place for like 30 years, 40 years. But in a way, I kind of did when I went there as a kid, and I never went back there after that whole situation. But when my wife and I left that place, I was like, babe, that was like one of the great, and I've gone back since. Now, another place I think is phenomenal is this place here, and it's another relatively new joint, is Torchio. Do you guys know where Torchio is?
No.
You know, my
On
friend
Wells?
just
I
told me to
haven't
go
been
there.
Torchio's
It's amazing
phenomenal.
pasta.
Phenomenal.
right.
One of the best. Do you guys
Adding
know
to
where
the list.
Mano a Mano is on Milwaukee?
Yes.
Yeah.
They also have some of the best food you'll ever have
Okay,
in
I
the city of
haven't been there
Chicago.
either.
But one of my favorite
wicked,
places,
yeah.
to answer your question initial or your first one, is Superdog. So I grew up on
Superdog.
Superdog. I love Superdog. I eat Superdog religiously.
Where
I
is
love
that?
it. Superdog is on Devon and Milwaukee. Do you
Okay.
not know what Superdog is? Do you know Maureen Flory, the hot dogs,
I
That's
feel
right.
like
All right,
I
so
might
the-
have gone there one time. It's on the west side.
No, it's on
No?
the northwest side.
Northwest
side.
So you know how when you
Superdog.
guys grew up, you had the cars in Berwyn, you know, the cars on the stacks and
Yes,
shit.
definitely.
That's kind of like what that's
Okay.
similar to what Superdog is as far as it's the insignia they have out on the roof.
Yeah.
But it's very iconic. They're known for their hot dog. They have one of the best cheeseburgers in the world, I think. Man, they have one of the best. It's called the Whooper Cheesy.
Oh my gosh,
It's
we gotta try
phenomenal.
that.
Sounds
We
great.
love
They have a
the
super
burger.
cheesy, which is a single one, but the Whooper cheesy is the way to go.
Okay.
All right.
And I think
Noted.
most people probably put ketchup and shit on there. I'm not an anti-cat, I'm not one of those people, but I think you should get it like the Superdog way, which would be like no ketchup, but mustard, relish, your green relish, onions, pickles, not grilled onions, raw onions. That's
Raw
just
onions,
me.
yeah.
But that would be like that's the place that I grew up going
Right,
to because I'm
right.
not far from there, and my dad didn't grow up too far from there and stuff as a teenager, and as a younger or from like middle school on. So it's one of my favorite Chicago joints. Like if you had to, like really, if I had to fight people for it
Yeah.
and shit, I'd be like,
That's where you wanna go.
But like Club Lucky, in the sense that. Like Erie Street Cafe, I think is an underrated steak
Oh,
joint.
we love Erie
Erie
Cafe.
Street, Erie
Yeah.
gets fucking doesn't get the recognition it deserves in the steak places.
We love it
because
there.
it's a true, real. It's another place like Club Lucky. Orso's on Wells Street is another one that never gets recognition, and they fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
Topo Gigio does.
Oh, we love
Topo
Topo,
Gigio does.
yeah.
It's another place.
Oh my gosh.
So, but Superdog's my spot. Like that would
There we
be
go.
that's my Chicago
Okay.
spot.
I think this list of recs was incredible. Thank,
Thank
you
you very
so
much.
much for
Thank you.
sharing. I feel like we have a new list of
Now
things
we
to go try.
We're writing all that down
Sure.
and going.
All right, going back to the Bear a
Sure.
little bit, the show. Do you think Carmi, also known as Jeremy Allen White, would survive a day working at the real Mr. Beef?
Sure, with the rest of the whiny bitches there, like the rest of us, yeah. Absolutely.
I love roasted.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Most definitely. Yeah. Everyone's having their Carmi moments all day today.
I'm sure, yeah.
I've been having a Carmi moment for the last 4 days. I've been screaming, yelling, smoking, thinking I'm gonna, doing this.
Doing the hair thing.
No, I've had enough. So yeah, sure,
Tweaking out.
100%, sure.
Have
sure.
you met him on set?
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure,
Yeah.
yes.
He seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
a really
He's
great
very
guy.
nice. Jeremy's a very nice person. Yes.
Our parents
very.
saw him walking down the street on Ontario.
He's out and about.
last year. Yeah, he's
Sure,
out.
he's
out
always
here.
out and about. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
Super nice. I love him to death. Sure.
That's amazing.
He's a very nice person.
Good to hear.
Yes.
Refreshing.
Okay, so if you weren't working at Mr. Beef, what do you think you'd be doing?
That I don't know. And now, I recently did something in the last 2 years that now I would be like, yeah, if I was 20 years old again, I would do this in a heartbeat.
What is
But I won't tell, but I
Okay.
can't tell. But
Okay.
yeah, but it was.
Secret.
It's something I've done and I've been lucky to do. And I was like, yeah, if I was 20 years old,
Yeah.
all this, I would have risked it all. I'd have been gone. I'd have been out of here. I'd have been there, and that's it. But I don't know what I would have done. It's hard. Probably something I don't know. It's just, my life is so strange. You know what I'd love to do? I'd love to be a professional drum. I'd love to play drums in some capacity and I don't need to be professional at it. Just a way where I would be able to sustain a lifestyle. That's what I would love to do.
Yeah.
If I could do that, that would be, and any type of, anything, whether it would be, not that I was formally taught drums, I taught myself, but I understand, and I mean, I would probably then go and get like, I would become like a drum teacher and understand music theory and understand drumming all in and out, like as a professor, like, I would do it like, there's a great drummer by the name of Steve Gadd or Jack DeJohnette, or I would have done that kind of stuff, or maybe, I guess I would have tried to do that, but.
I love music.
Yeah.
I resonate with that a
All
lot.
right, right on.
Yeah. Okay, a little bit of a fun Chicago question.
Sure.
What is your favorite Chicago sports team?
You know what? You guys are gonna be really upset about this.
What, is it the Cubs?
No, it's none. I don't like sports.
I was about to
I
be
have
so
no
sad.
fucking idea who. I represent all of them, I guess, in a certain way. I'm not a sports guy. You'd have to ask Jason or Big Dick Mike or one of those guys,
Jason
Big Head
next
Fred.
Yeah.
They're all sports guys. Big P, everybody's a sports guy. I fucking hate the sound of on Sundays. I hate that shit. I have nothing to do
agree.
with it. I'd rather go fucking antiquing. I just don't do that. I just
You just don't like to watch sports
I
as
just
much.
don't care.
Yeah.
It's just never been my thing. But I represent. I like here because I live in a different state.
Yeah.
What I do is this: I wear everything Chicago in that state, and then everything I wear here from that state, or everything from that state I wear here. So strangely, the Vikings were playing last night.
Yep.
The Bears. I was at the restaurant, going skull and saying, I can't wait out the fucking Bears. And I was just joking with people. I don't really care. I don't have a dog in the fight. But like, I wear Minnesota shit down here.
Yeah.
So, and that's just what it is. Yeah, but it's not it. When I go to Chicago, I'm 100% of Chicago. It's just, I don't care. I represent, it's just, that's what it is to me. So I couldn't answer that one because my wife was, like, well, this, and I go, that's the one that's going to upset me more than anything. It's
well,
a sports
just a
thing.
sports
Yeah,
It's
'cause I
funny
know,
that you play into the opposition, wherever you're
sure.
not.
And that's exactly, but then like, for that situation. But then I was in LA and I bought an LA Dodgers hat and I was just like, yeah, I'm proud to wear this because
course,
I was I like LA. LA is a beautiful city, not for what everybody wants.
Yeah.
There's a underbelly of that city that is fucking incredible.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's such a So when I was in LA this past time with doing a pop-up up there, all I did was just, I walked. Nobody walks through that city. Everybody takes, I walked I stayed at the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel.
Yeah.
And I walked from there all the way to Uncle Paulie's, all the way to fucking Dantana's and back. Like, people don't do that shit down there. It's insanely far. Yeah.
Well, final question.
Yes.
Sip and spill. I want to know if someone's opening up a restaurant, maybe someone at dinner with us tonight,
Sure.
What advice would you give them? Is there something you would say to anyone looking to take on that?
Somebody asked me this recently too, and they wanted like I was like, well, there's so many other people you can ask that. Like, don't ask me that opinion, because I was like born into it. It's such a unique thing.
Yeah.
I have such a weird reality that it doesn't. I don't know if I could convey something that would make you think, oh, okay, yeah. Like, oh, I can tell you this much: you can do something and fucking hate it and still do it. All right, and still do it and justify it.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky in the sense that, like I said, I've hated it. I've been upset with it. I've been it's been great to me. I've loved it, all of it. I think that's what you have to do. You have to understand that it is you, and it takes up your entire life. And, you know, before you feed anything, before the dinners and the nice, all the stuff, you know, this is what, or anything. If you do have a restaurant, this is how you eat, and you have to figure it out, and it's a very tough business. You have to eat, sleep, fuck these things, you have to eat, you have to live it and to make it work. And I get, and every person I say that to, I'm sure there's somebody who's gonna be like, ugh, and make some kind of comment about it. But I've talked to real, you know, I've had conversations with other restaurant people, not just like somebody who does this or that, like guys who run their restaurants are still there. I mean, I'm still washing my dish. I'm going back here after I'm done with you guys. made sure I look somewhat decent because I had to work all day today. And then I have to go back and I'm gonna go wash my dishes and do all that shit.
Oh my God.
Like, you have to do that. Like, you have to want to do it. Like, you have, not that I have any other opportunity, but like, that's what I do. But you have to do that. You can't, there's a lot of people I see, like I've met, that are supposed restaurant owners, not like celebrity or big stuff like that. I'm talking about just random restaurant guys that I've met in the last year, because there's a lot of restaurant guys. There's a lot of great guys that have been very friendly and very warm and very accepting. There's been the ones that I can see what they want, and I get that too. But then there's been ones where I've just met where they've come to the restaurant and they let me know what they do. And I was like, this guy isn't a restaurant guy. I know he's not. Because if he was a fucking restaurant guy, he just would shut up. He just shut the fuck up and just wouldn't even want to talk about this. Like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do anything. You should want, this is what I recommend, you should want to do it so much that the last thing you want to do is talk about it, but love it and something the same. That's very easily said than done for me. But like I said, you want to be in a restaurant or anything, you have to give it your all, and you have to understand, you have to eat a lot of shit too. You have to eat a lot of crow too, and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's just part, but that's anything, I think. So.
Thank you, Christopher, for sipping and spilling with us. Those were some really great answers. We appreciate your insight.
We love having dinner with you.
Thank you,
Mr.
neighbors.
Thank you guys so much for being at family dinner tonight. It was so much fun to have a beef with everyone and talk with you, Christopher.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me here.
I had a blast.
Thank you so much.
Where can everyone find you?
I don't have a huge social media presence, but you can find me at Mr. Beef Chicago on Instagram. And then, I mean, every day, our Monday through Saturday, Mr. Beef's open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We're located at 666 North Orleans in the River North area of downtown Chicago. And that's it. Like, that's pretty much it. At the corner of Erie and or on Orleans, in between Erie and Huron. I mean, it's been like that for the last 40-something years. So
amazing.
Yeah.
A true iconic Chicago
well,
spot.
That's very nice.
It is.
Thank you again, Christopher, for being here.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us. We had such an amazing dinner with you all. We'll see you next time at the table. But before you go, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our Family Dinner Show channel.